So welcome back to another lecture. In the previous lectures we found the MIPS instruction classes, how they execute, what are their parameters, etc. So today let us look at the design aspect in more details. What would have motivated the MIPS designers to come up with these classes of instructions, R-type, I-type, J-type? What would have motivated them to have a 32-bit register size, that too 32 in number? Let us try to find answers for this. So all these are results of their design, decisions taken. So design decisions are not arbitrary decisions, they are taken based on some principles. So today we are going to see the design principles followed by MIPS designers to come up with the MIPS architecture. So today's subheading will be Principles of Hardware Design. So MIPS design principles. So fundamentally there are four guiding principles. First one is smaller is faster. Second one, simplicity favors regularity. And third one is good design demands good compromise. Good design demands compromises. Make the common case fast. So let us examine each of them in detail and see the impact of these principles in the MIPS designs. So first one is smaller is faster. So this tells you about the size and number of registers. So we have got only 32 registers, each having 32 bits. So why they have not made it as 64 or 128? Because as the register size increases, it takes longer to read the content. So when you have larger registers, it becomes time consuming to read the contents. It slows down the computer. Second one is, how about increasing the number of registers instead of 32 and living with all the difficulties of the 32 limited registers? Why can't we make it as 40 or 50? What's the price that we are going to pay? If you look at the instruction format, there are fields RS, RT, RD which specifies the number of the register. So if we had more than 32 registers, we would be requiring more than 5 bits to represent them. So as the number of bits required for representing the registers increases, the instruction length also increases. When the instruction length increases, the time required to process it also increases. So everything boils down to the same result, that you keep the thing smaller, then it runs faster. So you cannot keep it smaller than a finite size, then it becomes useless. So you must keep it at a size which is small enough to be faster. That is the main idea behind the first design principle. So it is written here. So a very large number of registers may increase the clock cycle time because it takes electronic signal longer when they must travel faster. So these are all some guidelines which is not absolute. That means, let's say 32-bit instructions and 32 registers are there. It need not be faster than a system with 31 registers. Okay, so these are not absolutes. This is a kind of design, because if you shift to 31 also you need 5 bits. There is no significant improvement. So, but you can expect some improvement if you cut it down to 16. So figures which are above 16 and less than 32 may not make much difference. So that is what. So these are not absolute principles that instruction with the 32-bit is faster, 33 and 31 are slower. That does not make sense. So this is what they are done. Okay. So the truth behind such observation causes the computer designer to take them seriously. So there is a balance. Programs always cry for more registers, but designers has to keep the clock cycle shorter by keeping a smaller registers. Okay. So we will see more on this later. That's about the first instruction set, which is smaller is faster. So next instruction principle is smaller. Simplicity favors regularity. So we know that when we design any system, we should make it as simple as possible, because complex things are difficult to implement and manage. So while making the instruction format, they made it as regular as possible so that they are simple and easy to implement. That we will see with the examples soon. So simplicity favors regularity. So the relationship, so when we write a program, we usually write expression like A equal to B plus C. So these expressions ultimately get translated into assembly language. So we must have an instruction where this translation is made in a very simple and regular way, so that you can easily find out what are the source operand, what is the destination operand, in what format they have to be written, etc. So that is what addressed in design principle. Simplicity favors regularity. So the natural number of operands for an operation like addition, subtraction, etc., they are kept as regular, exactly as 3, nothing more, nothing less. So this conforms to the philosophy of keeping the hardware simple. Hardware, so the key principle here is hardware for variable number of operands is more complicated than hardware for a fixed number. See, let's say we have 10 flavors of add instruction. Then the hardware for implementing those will be very complicated. But now we don't have that much flavor. We have only 2 flavors for add instruction, add and add immediate. So the hardware becomes very simple to implement. So this situation illustrates the design principle. Simplicity favors regularity. So we can observe the regularity in all the instruction set, instruction that we have shown. Okay, so that's about the next instruction. Next principle is good design demands compromises. So in order to have a fair ISA, they have done a lot of compromises without sacrificing the power of the instruction set. Let us see what are the compromises made in order to make the design a better one. So there are very simple things which we have already seen. See, look at the instruction format, add immediate. What is the size of the address? You have 16-bit. Okay, so in the jump instruction also we have got fixed and shorter instruction, is shorter space for the jump address. So this limitation on the immediate size, that is a compromise. You cannot have immediate for more than 16 bits. Isn't it? Your immediate size is always limited to 16 bit. Your target address in the branch instruction is limited to 2 power 15. 16-bit address, in the load word address, everything is 16 bits, and the offset in the load word, if you remember, the offset in the load word or store word is also specified in a register, which is again 5 bits. So you are limited to 32 as the largest offset possible. All these are limitations or compromises to make the instruction set as regular as possible. So the compromise chosen by MIPS designers is to keep all instructions at the same length, thereby requiring different kinds of instruction format for different kinds of instruction. So this is one important point. And also the restrictions in the size of address fields, that is also a compromise. So we would be happy if we have larger constants as part of immediates or larger address space for jump instructions and branch, but that is not materializing because of these compromises. Okay. So the implications of design choices can be summarized here. Using I format for arithmetic instruction with immediate operand, that is only 16 bits in the constants have to be fit in 16. So this is a compromise made. Good design demands good compromise, these two. So all these points given here, only 16-bit, because 32-bit is needed for branch address, but we are converting the 16 to 32-bit by suffering all the pain, because we cannot have another instruction format which accommodates 32 bits. So J format only 26 bits, but we need 32 bits. So all these are compromised. We know that we need 32 bits address, but we are forced to live with 16-bit or 26 bits because of these design choices. Now let us see the next principle, which says that make the common case fast. So it's a very simple principle. See, let's say every day we are doing some common activities before going to the college. Then if you speed up that common activities, you will reach the college faster. So wherever these common things are there, we must make it faster. So if you look at the programs, most of the operands, that 50% of the operands are small 16-bit numbers. So they found that most of the programs uses 16-bit constants. So they came up with an instruction exclusively for dealing with 16-bit constant, which is add I or sub I, the immediate instructions. So that principle is used there. So make the common case faster, because common case is the small constant. So if you make it faster, you can speed up the entire system. So this is another design principle used, make the common case faster. So to summarize, the design principles used are: smaller is faster, simplicity favors regularity, good design demands compromises, make the common case faster. You should know the examples of all these with respect to MIPS architecture. So with this I am concluding the lecture now. We will come back to Teams, and I'll also send you the slides today. If you have any doubts, you can watch it, and then we'll clear it in today's lecture itself. Okay, thank you.